We have found out the phase width. Now B, we shall find the minimum value of phase width. So it is obtained from page number 213, equation 12.23. Here you can see. So this is the minimum phase width. Minimum phase width B is equal to 1.15 pi mn divided by sine beta. This is the minimum phase width. So we shall give suffix as B minimum. B minimum is equal to 1.15 pi mn by sine beta. So this is equation 12.23 B, page number 213. We have found out B and we have to find the value of B minimum. If the value of B is greater than B minimum, then the design is safe and it is correct. Otherwise we need to change the value of B. Let us see. The module is 1.25 divided by sine beta. Beta is 45 degree. So the minimum phase width we will get as 6.38 mm. So comparing B minimum with B, B is greater than B minimum, therefore design is safe. Value of B is safe. Next we shall check for sigma D. We have considered many values, so we shall check for sigma D, allowable stresses. First we shall take the value of Ft. In page number 214, equation 12.24a, we shall take Ft sigma D CVB y mn by divided by Cw. We shall take this formula. So in this formula we have found out the value of module, but for y we had taken the number of teeth as assumed value of number of teeth. Now we have calculated the actual value of number of teeth, so we have to find again y. B is we have already found out B, and Ft also we have already found out. We have to check for sigma D. Y is equal to pi y1 pi into 0.175 divided by 0.95 by Ze1. So in place of Ze1 I will substitute 130.1. Now we shall find for sigma D. Ft is 358, sigma D1 into 0.4616. This 19 is B, 0.5268 into 1.25 divided by 1.15. This is Cw. So I'll find for sigma D1, the value is 71.28 MPa. It is less than 100 MPa. So in question they are given 100 MPa as allowable stresses and the induced stresses is 71.28 MPa. So the design is safe. We can proceed further. Next we shall find the value of dynamic tooth load FD. To find dynamic tooth load FD, we shall take the formula from data handbook. Here there is FD is equal to FT plus K3V into CB cos square beta plus FT into cos beta. Here this is the same equation for spur gear, but the only addition is cos beta. Beta is the helix angle. Here they have given the K3 as 20.67 and C value we have to find as we were finding in spur gears. FT plus K3V into CB cos square beta plus FT cos beta divided by K3V plus square root of CB cos square beta plus FT. So this is from data handbook 12.26a, page number 214. They are given the value of K3 as 20.67. Now I have to find the value of C. To find the value of C, I need the velocity. Velocity is 49. We have got 41. Here from table 12.14, the velocity which I have got is 41 meter per second. So it is 26 and over. So for this we will take error 0.0127, and from table 12.12 for 20 degree stub involute steel combination, and the value of error is 0.0127. So here 0.01, 0.02. So I will take 0.01. 20 degree stub involute steel combination. The value of C is 118.7. For error E is equal to 0.01. What is the value of C for error E is equal to 0.127? So this is from table 12.14, page number 237, and table 12.12, page number 236. So this is just a cross multiplication. So the value of C for error 0.127 is the value of C is 150.75 Newton per mm. Now we will find the value of FD. We will find FD here. FT is 358. So there is no space, we shall do it here itself. the value of FD I'll get as 1564. 84 1564.8 newtons. FD I am getting this value. Next we shall find the value of wear load FW. FW is obtained from data handbook. Here you can see page number 214, equation D1 BQK by cos square beta, equation 12.26c, and for K they have given K equals sigma square ES sin alpha by 1.4 1 by E1 plus 1 by E2, and for Q we shall take 2 D2 by D2 plus D1. This is D1 but they have given 1, this should be D1. Q is equal to 2 D2 by D2 plus D1. So these all the equations I have got from 12.26c, this equation and this equation. And for load stress factor we need to refer table 12.16 and 12.17. So in starting of the problem they had given sigma ES. So I had told that we shall consider this when finding wear load. So no need to refer table for sigma ES. They are already given in the question. And for E1 and E2 in the question they are given the material as steel. So both the materials are steel. So we shall take E's as Young's modulus for stainless steel, that is 2.01 into 10 power 5. Sigma ES is 618 square sin. Here I have to find sin alpha, and for this it will be alpha n. It will become sin alpha n, and to find alpha n I need to refer another table. Before that we'll first find Q. 2 into D2 is 320 by D2 plus D1. So the value of Q is 1.6. Next we'll refer page number 211. Page number 211, 12.22b. Here in 12.22b there is tan alpha n is equal to tan alpha cos beta. So this is a relationship between pressure angle in normal plane and pressure angle in transverse plane. Alpha pressure angle is 20 degree and beta is 45 degree. So alpha n I'll get as 14.43 degree. Now I can find K is equal to 618 square into sin alpha n will take E as 2.1 into 10 power 5. The value of K is 0.6474. Now we will find wear load FW 80 into 19 into 1.6 into 0.6474 divided by cos square 45. So the wear load I'll get as 3149 newtons. So since wear load is greater than dynamic load, the material is safe. Material is safe against wear. Against wear we can write, or we can write only material is safe. That's it. So this is how we need to solve the problem for helical gears. The design is almost same, but only changes we will get the extra element, that is helix angle or beta.